Do you want to do do you think you could do a running start or at least a fumbling front forwards roll start to the podcast?
No, I don't think I could actually, to be honest.
Hi there, and welcome to the Marvelless Podcast, your other once-a-month Marvelless podcast, starring me, your co-host Josh.
And me, your other co-host Lauren.
How are you doing today, Lauren?
I'm alright. I think the kids' germs are trying to take me down.
Oh no.
I think they're on their way.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. Big changes coming for a Cassidy, Josh. We've got a move coming up in the next couple of months. Everyone likes a bit of lore, don't they? So Marvellous lore is that me and my fiance don't live together, and we never have lived together. Even though we've been together for 8 years, just life gets in the way, doesn't it? And hopefully the next couple of months that will be changing as we move in together.
That's so exciting.
And then I assume she kills me with a hatchet.
I think you learn a lot about each other when you actually live together.
Yeah. See, we have spent extended periods of time together before. Like, I think this summer, she got a break from her job, so we spent like almost 2 months together.
Okay.
In my house.
Yeah.
So we know what we're like.
It's all changed when it's your own place.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being in our own place because I have a flatmate who's a mutual friend of me and Lauren, and I just can't wait to essentially. This might be too TMI. Who cares? I can't wait to exclusively walk around naked, basically.
Doesn't he like that when you walk around the house naked?
like a fucking gremlin. No, he's. It takes seconds to put on a kimono or a dressing gown, but I do wear a kimono. You know this, don't you, Lauren?
What? Oh God!
If this was a video podcast, I'd get the
This is too much law for me.
Yeah. If this was a video podcast, I'd get the kimono.
We can see a picture of it and put it on Instagram.
Yeah. You know what? We'll do one better. I'll find the photo of me in the middle of lockdown having a breakdown where I'm wearing a kimono and I've got a mustache, and we'll post that. Too hot for TV. Anyway, so yes, on the Less Marvellous podcast, normally on our podcast, we take the entirety of the MCU and put it in the battle to the death for the rest of cinema. We don't do that this week. On these types of episodes, we just talk about whatever we want, as you can tell so far.
We're trying to keep it somewhat movie/Marvel related.
Yeah, pop culture related, as the way I'd like to put it. Yeah, I just want to apologise if people do hear fireworks during today's episode. It is Diwali when we're recording, and also Remembrance Day. And I think it's funny that some people do set off fireworks for Remembrance Day.
I hope that's not why they set off fireworks.
I remember being little and people doing fireworks on Remembrance Day.
But they're like, oh, let's go around my house. Remembrance Day, we're going to do fireworks. Really?
I think British people just love an excuse to do a bit of fireworks.
Oh, I can't stand fireworks. I hate them.
It's a really hard time of year, Lauren, for people who hate fireworks but love seeing really distressed dogs, isn't it? Because you don't know what side to fall on, do you?
No, I watched, you're probably a bit young, but do you remember 999?
No, I don't know.
Okay. So when I was little, I used to go to my nan's, I think, on a Friday night where my mum and stepdad used to go out. and she'd always put on like this 999 program, and it was like horrifying. Like, and I remember being like about 5 or 6, and there was this episode about fireworks, and this family let off fireworks in the back garden, and it like smashed this little girl in the face, and like she was like blind after that, and that has freaked me out ever since.
I remember actually at one bonfire night when I was little, we had a firework fall flat and shoot towards everyone watching it. Everybody was okay, thank God, but I that's a distinct memory.
Yeah, we had a New Year's party once with like at my friend's house, and they've got like a smallish garden, but it was like one of those boxes of fireworks that you just like the box and it goes off. They lit the box, it literally like flipped over towards the house where everyone is standing. We all had to like run inside. We were like panicking because the window was open, so we had to shut all the windows while the fireworks were coming at the house. It's awful. So yeah, I just stay away from them now.
This is why fireworks are illegal in some countries. Oh dear.
I think a big explosive is not something that you can sell easily to the public.
Yeah, I live about 400 yards from a fireworks shop as well. So we get it really bad around here because it's like people buy some fireworks, have a drink, then like, oh fuck, I could get some more. And I can say that because I've been privy to that. We're going to start today's festivities with some look at the Marvels, the MCU's latest attempt at a movie.
Wow. That's one way of putting it.
Well, everything's an attempt, isn't it? Like,
well, yeah. And what qualifies it not being a movie if it's only an attempt?
Well, I think the DC cinematic universe has certainly attempted a lot of stuff. And
oh God, yeah. Well, just to clarify, neither me or Josh have seen the Marvels. I don't know if we're going to either.
Well, at
maybe
some point,
after these reviews we'll decide.
Yeah, so at some point, me and Lauren will have to watch the Marvels for the main part of this podcast.
That is a very long time away.
That is years away, actually. This is a very interesting cultural point for this podcast because this is the first time we've been doing this podcast and a new Marvel film has come out.
Mm-hmm.
So, think now, listeners, this is what? Less Marvel, Less episode 4? We'll be talking about the Marvels in more details in episode probably 30-something of Marvel Less, which will be in just about 2 years' time.
If you're still listening then, thank you.
You know what? Let's make a phrase word now, and if someone comments on that video in 2 years' time, whatever, we'll send them a prize or something.
Yes, comment flirking on that video.
No, it can't just be comment.
What's the cat's name?
Comment Tony Stark's hairy flirking on that video, and the first person to do it will send the prize in 2 years' time. So, what we're going to do here is, I believe Lauren has scoured the depths of Rotten Tomatoes and other review websites to find us some The Marvels review. I just want to say, like, do you think The Marvels is a good name for a movie? Because I don't.
No, it doesn't really make sense, to be honest. But I don't understand why they just didn't call it Captain Marvel 2.
Yeah. Well, technically, it was meant to be the third Captain Marvel movie, wasn't it?
Was it?
Well, wasn't Secret Invasion meant to be a Captain Marvel movie?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, from my understanding, Secret Invasion was meant to be a Captain Marvel thing.
And they turned it into the series. Oh, yeah. I thought the script... I might be getting confused. I thought one of the scripts was... it must be a rejected Captain Marvel film, so it weren't good enough to make a Captain Marvel film, so they made it into a series.
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
I'm going to do a bit of pre-defending of ourselves here. I'd say me and Lauren have not seen The Marvels. Yeah, I have no opinions about whether The Marvels is going to be good or bad. A lot of the things recently, well, the past couple of days have been like, this film's only made this much money. It's the lowest grossing Marvel film of all time. The actors' strike ended 3 hours before that movie came out. That film has had no, essentially, what I would call like personal advertising for the last 100 days.
Yeah.
Like, normally actors go on TV shows and actors go on, Instagram and Twitter and be like, look at my movie, I'm in a movie. But that has literally been against union rules for the past 100 days for the Marvels cast. So what you could say is, The Marvels is the most financially successful film ever post-strike. But that would be a positive female narrative, and the internet doesn't have room for that kind of thing.
No, I mean, to be honest, I was expecting some really like, why are they letting women be in a film kind of reviews. But they aren't as bad as what I was expecting, to be honest. It's kind of mixed. There's people that really love it, and there's people that hate it, and there's people that are like, it was okay. So it's not too bad.
Yeah, currently as we record, The Marvels has got a certified fresh critics score, about 60%, hasn't it?
62%, and then 84% audience score.
With
1,000 verified ratings.
That's pretty good. I don't know how you verify on Rotten Tomatoes, but
I have no idea.
So yeah, from a critical standpoint, The Marvels is a success because the reviews are positive. Mm-hmm. Like, if 50% is a pass grade, 60% is a better pass.
Yeah. From what I can see, it sounds like it's got a lot of fun and a lot of action, but just in general, people are like, it's a bit of a hack job. But there's fun sequences and the action sequences are fun.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like hacked together to an inch of its life.
So, Lauren, let's hold hands as we walk down the garden path that are these reviews.
They're not too bad, to be honest. I was trying to find some really horrible ones, but I couldn't actually find anything that bad.
You know what? That's refreshing to hear.
So, this is the first review I came across. 2.5 stars. We could have had Dune Part 2 this week, but we got this instead.
Did you see Dune Part 1?
Nope.
No, me neither.
Looked so boring. I was like, that is not for me. Next review.
Sorry. Let me get over you just calling Dune. I mean, it did look very boring.
It reminded, right, now that we watched Battlefield Earth, it looks like Battlefield Earth. They got that stupid nose thing.
Me going after Taylor Swift is going to get me a percentage of the hate of you saying that Dune looks like Battlefield Earth.
Do people love Dune that much? Is it like a crazy Dune fan base?
Yeah, people are really, really protective of Dune.
Are they? Oh, just no.
So, Lauren, this second review we came across.
1.5 star. More and more every day I start to empathise with Martin Scorsese.
Okay, both of those reviews are very funny, but none of them are actually a critique of the piece of art. If you know what I mean. None of them like, this doesn't work, this does work.
No, well, there's another review here. 2.5 stars. Let Iman Vellani run Marvel Studios.
That's nice. She is a bit of a shining star, isn't she, at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, literally nearly all of the reviews are like, this is nothing against Iman Vellani, just take her out of this review. She's amazing.
She's a bit of... Have you seen her in anything but Ms. Marvel?
No, I think that's the first thing she's ever acted in.
Wow, that's amazing.
I was watching an interview with her the other day, and she literally, like, she said that she got a casting information from, like, her grandmother, who got, like, an invitation, like, got sent this, she called it a brown group, like a brown WhatsApp group, so I think it was a group of, like, all her Indian grandmother's friends, got a specific casting call for looking for Indian girls.
Wow.
And then she was just like, oh, you should do it. And then she was kind of like, no, I've got a test and I can't really do this. No, there's no way I'm going to get it. I don't do acting. And then she got it. And then the next thing she knew, she was like flying to like Vegas, signing NDAs and yeah.
That's amazing. She might be first of a kind. Do you remember? You know, like how like Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake are like Disney kids.
Yeah, she's like
Is she the first Marvel kid?
Maybe. It's crazy though because she is like such a huge Marvel fan. She knows so much about Marvel and the stories and all of the characters, and so she's just sort of like she's just like she's a perfect Miss Marvel, and she's like living her best life. She's just like jumped into this world that she's kind of always loved and read comics of, which is quite sweet, really.
That's very happy. That makes me very happy. I think I was talking about this with a mutual friend of ours, Lauren, and I don't know about you. I don't want films to suck. I don't want any film to suck.
No.
The world is a better place if all art is good.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You want to just go and enjoy something and be like, oh, that's just nice, it's amazing.
Like, as much as, again, this episode started with us shitting on the DC Cinematic Universe, I want all the DC films to be good. It would make me really happy if they were all really good. Because then there's more good art in the world.
I was just about to say there's more good films to watch, but...
Yeah.
But they are not amazing.
Yeah, James Gunn announced the release date for the new Superman movie today as well, I think.
Oh, did he? When's that?
Yeah, July something 2025.
Oh. Next year's going to be, like, really quiet. For films. Just like, oh, we're just going to skip 2024.
Well, I wonder if something happened late this year that may have stopped film production for next year. Like slowed it down.
Yeah. I mean, that's a third of a year that they couldn't do any recording.
Yeah. Like, maybe some studios trying to be, like, really greedy.
But then by being so greedy, they've lost out on making money properly, like, for 2 years.
Well, what me and Laura are talking about today, because we do talk not just on the podcast, like Warner Brothers is just in the absolute worst financial place it's ever been in its life.
Yeah.
You think like one of the big, like maybe one of the oldest standing film studios, about 100 years of Warner Brothers movies?
Oh, I have no idea. A long time, I think, yeah.
And they just are like, well... There's the more conspiratorial thinking is that they're choosing not to turn a profit, but they literally aren't turning profits.
No. I mean, I don't even know what they've got coming out now. Because they've cancelled their, like, Fantastic Beasts. They've cancelled that off. They've got, they canned Batwoman.
Mm-hmm. They canned the Wile E. Coyote movie.
Oh, yeah.
Which was finished. Well, actually, they've all been finished, haven't they? Actually, was Fantastic Beasts finished?
No, I think they've done the 3 and they were planning on doing a 4th, and then they've just gone, no, we're not going to do it.
Well, that might be a J.K. Rowling issue more than anything else.
Well, quite possibly, but I think it's a money issue too. I don't think. Yeah. But I think they just know it's not going to make the money.
Yes, but when all the cast of your original film that you wrote are like, we think you might be a horrible person.
Oh no. This one is a 2.5 stars. Objectively terrible. Very...
Sorry.
Very apparently hacked to pieces in post. Barely a movie. I didn't hate it. It's amiably goofy and the cat stuff is really funny.
Oh yeah, there's cats in that movie, isn't there?
Yes, because apparently I'm a cat lady, and so I was having a grand old time. 5 stars.
Yeah, I'm going to really struggle disliking that movie if there's cats in it. The good thing about being my kind of media consumer, Lauren, is that have personal biases, know them, but then don't make that affect how you view the world. Be like, oh yeah, I'm about to be really personally biased about this. Anyway. It's like me and Spider-Man. Like, I can't diss Spider-Man stuff, even when I know it's objectively poor. I'm like, nope, it's still Spider-Man, though.
The poorest one was the middle one, Far From Home.
I think the poorest one was the last one.
Really?
Yeah. There was so much of that film that just wanted you to stand up and clap when you saw Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Like, the film essentially breaks for like a 25-minute applause break. Like, the film just stops.
Yeah.
And it stops in the middle of Tom Holland's like big emotional grieving as well, which the film should be focused on his grief. But it's like, look at this, it's a 45-year-old man. It's like, great.
Oh, he did like, grieve a bit. They helped him.
Yeah, there should have been maybe just a bit of cutting around it.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
It was a fun movie. I enjoyed
it. It was really, really, really fun. And again, a Spider-Man movie, so top notch in my books.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Our next review, 2.5 stars. The MCU has been saved. Brackets, Kevin Feige has my family stored in his hat closet.
Ooh, is Kevin Feige bald?
I have no idea. I've never seen underneath his hat.
Yeah, that's what you got to play, isn't it? It's like Hulk Hogan. You assume Hulk Hogan's bald, don't you? Because he's always wearing the bandana.
He's what?
He's always wearing the bandana, isn't he, on his head? Hulk Hogan is.
Oh yeah. I reckon. I reckon the bandana just got hair attached to the.
Like a Halloween costume.
So he takes it off, there's no hair whatsoever. And then he puts it on, and then it's just got hair draping down. So it's never wearing a wig, it's just wearing a hairy bandana.
I don't know whether this made the bit that got cut or whatever, or got lost to the audio recorder fucking up, but speaking of Hulk Hogan and Scientologists, I think he's just become or just married a Scientologist.
Oh, I have no idea. I'm not current on Hulk Hogan news.
You know, you can buy those big like birthday cake cookie things from like Millie's Cookies or whatever. Like, other giant cookie providers are available. I have promised myself that the day that he dies, I'm going to buy myself one of those.
Why?
Because I've got no reason to buy one. So it's like
your birthday, Christmas, your girlfriend's birthday.
No, it's got to be an event, hasn't it?
Not the Queen dying. Oh, just.
Can you imagine his visage in frosting?
Cookie icing. They do red and yellow icing.
There you go. Then. I'll make him bald as well. I don't want the bandana on.
Right, our next review I've got here, 2.5 stars. I mean, it wasn't particularly good, but people who are saying that this is the worst MCU film need to rewatch Thor: Love and Thunder. Which I agree with. That was absolutely terrible. I fell asleep at the cinema watching Thor: Love and Thunder.
I like to imagine you're in one of those 4D cinema screenings as well.
Just like rocking around in the chair, completely asleep.
with your massive coke in your popcorn, just being rattled about.
I was very pregnant as well. I think that came out like a month before Max was due.
Shaking Max out of your Love of Thunder. Okay, we're going to save this for in 2 years' time when we get to the Love and Thunder episode. The issue with that film is entirely contextual about when it was made, clearly. They shot it during a pandemic. Obviously nobody wants to be there. No one wants to be making this Marvel film in the middle of this fucking pandemic.
Yeah, that's true.
And
that was like a very strange time.
Yeah.
And I can imagine it was a difficult time to make a film, let alone a very good film.
Yeah. The only good piece of COVID art I can think of is Bo Burnham's Inside. Like, have you seen like Locked Down and all the other fucking COVID art? Like, some of it is. I'm talking about visual art here. Lots of very good music, painting, and other stuff was made during COVID. But like, filmmaking is essentially entirely communal process.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that really comes to mind is like there's like a couple of series of like COVID-y Grey's Anatomy, and it is just like harrowing, but also like just
I just want to say, Lauren, I am aghast. I didn't realise Grey's Anatomy was a show that they still made.
Well, I don't really understand why they're still making it. It was very, very good until COVID hit. And I watched it I've watched the whole thing like 2 or 3 times. And I will like tell people to watch it because it's just so good. But the last, I think it's 3 seasons have just been terrible. Which is not it's not their fault. I think it's like COVID happened and life kind of changed for everybody, didn't it?
Yeah, I think a lot of people's priorities just changed, like what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like for me, and maybe for you, was like, I need to really do that podcast that I want to do.
Just need to live my life, man.
Yeah. There's not enough people on the internet talking about Marvel movies. I think I need to add to that discourse.
I'm just having a look at X now to see what's going on. It says, Captain Marvel haters seeing all the positive the Marvel reviews. As Iron Man would say, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. The Marvels fakes reviews as film flops worldwide. Worst MCU opener ever.
Okay, I'm just going to repeat this in case it died during recording. Again, we don't know what we kept and what we lost. The Marvels came out the day that the actors' strike ended. No one could promote that movie for 100 days. The fact it's made as much money as it is impressive, because that's entirely traditional advertising and word of mouth.
Yes. And this is also in an era where people aren't going to the cinema.
Yeah, because it's fucking spenny. Based on all these reviews, Lauren, other than the fact you're going to have to watch it for this podcast, will you be watching the Marvels?
I think I'm going to give it a go. I had no expectations anyway. I'm not like expecting a masterpiece, but I like going to the cinema. It sounds like it could be fun, and like people are saying, Iman Vellani, she's fun, she's cool, and I think she'll bring a lot to the film. So I think that will be like she'll be the best part of the film.
Amazing. I 100% agree. I think I might wait for it to come to Disney Plus, especially if we're not getting another MCU movie for like 2 years now. Like, I don't have to rush out to see it in case to catch up with what's going to be seen.
No, and in all fairness, Josh, it'll probably be in the cinema on Disney Plus by January, if not before.
So, keeping on the theme of Marvel and their newest products, Loki Season 2 just ended.
It did.
I
just don't know how to feel about it. How do you feel?
I feel that before this discussion becomes a spoiler warning, if you care about how Loki season 2 ends, skip ahead amount of minutes here and join us in a bit and rejoin us again in a bit. But if you don't care, how I felt about Loki was a sense of satisfaction I've not felt watching a Marvel product in a very long time.
Are you satisfied with how it ended?
Yes, because it ended.
And it's not left open for more?
No. I think a bit of brain rot has happened with people where they expect things to go on forever.
No, I get that.
Like, and it's nice just to see an entire story told. And that story has impacts on the rest of the MCU now forever. But I don't need any more of that story in isolation anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see the TVA now appear in other stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't need Loki season 3 or a Loki movie now. Like, they've laid all this groundwork like the MCU used to do, so the TVA can now just appear and you understand what it is.
Yeah. You understand what they're doing and why they're doing it.
Exactly. It was an amazing... If we get no more Tom Hiddleston, it was an amazing farewell for Tom. A truly amazing farewell.
I feel like that can't be the end of Tom Hiddleston and Loki. I get the kind of like finality of it all, and it's taken me a long time to kind of like comprehend it.
Mm-hmm.
Not say a long time. I watched it on Friday.
And it's now 2 months later.
Now it's Sunday, but I don't know. I think it's one of those things that you kind of it's still like weighing on me.
Yeah.
I think the finality of it all, and I wasn't expecting finality. I think.
Yeah. Again, because you've been trained by the rest of Marvel not to.
Yeah.
Like, it's.
But I think even the whole series, that whole season 2, was like, they're gonna fix this. They are gonna fix this. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine. And the whole time we were like, yeah, it's gonna fix it. They just need to do this. We're gonna fix it. Okay, that's not working. We're just gonna do that. Okay, it's fine. It's all good. It's all good. We're gonna fix it. And then he gets to that last episode, and then he realizes he can't fix it. Like Tony couldn't fix himself, and it was heartbreaking to see him go through that.
I 100% agree. It's some of the best acting I've seen in a Marvel property, like, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Owen Wilson giving an amazing performance as well. Like, not to be overlooked for a second. Like, I do forget that he's an actor. Like, and that's a horrible thing to say about somebody, but
no, I know what you mean.
Like, he is capable of ranges of emotions.
Yeah, he's a very good actor, but now I can't imagine him being anyone than Mobius.
Yeah, well,
I think that is just him.
That's good, because it's better than remembering as Drill Bit Taylor, isn't it? Or Marley and Me.
I forgot about that movie.
Yeah, or Marley and Me. You know,
yeah. I can't imagine him being like a love interest in a movie now.
No, not with a nose like that. Yeah, so anyone who's stuck around to hear what happened in the season 2 of Loki but doesn't know what happened, essentially all of time and space is crumbling because of a machine that protects something called the Sacred Timeline, which is basically what we know as Marvel Cinematic Universe, or Earth 616. They keep subtly calling it.
What do they call it? The loom.
The loom.
Was that what was breaking?
Yes, and essentially it was Loki's job to fix it. And he fixed it by creating essentially what looked to me be like, I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation. I do apologize because the word starts with a Y and then two D's.
Oh, the tree, Idrisil.
Yeah, Idrisil.
Yeah, Idrisil.
Yeah, Idrisil.
That's what other people were pronouncing it, so I apologise if that is wrong.
Yeah, essentially, it's the tree of all time and place. Loki creates that using himself. He finds his glorious purpose, or,
Yeah.
Lauren, take your hoodie off.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I'm so hot. I try to listen and take my hoodie off without knocking my headphones off.
I've just been watching Lauren.
That's incredibly distracting.
I've just been watching Lauren take a hoodie off for the past minute. Oh dear. Yeah. So Loki is now essentially the like king of all cosmos.
I guess so. Yeah. He what happens? He basically finds out that he who must not be named.
Quang.
Oh, the guy at the end of time. What is it?
He who remains.
He who remains.
Or Kang. It's Kang, Lauren. Just call him. Quang. It's Quang.
He who remains has been in. He's been in charge of everything this entire time. Loki had thought that he was getting somewhere, and basically, he who remains has been pulling all the strings, and his only option was to kill Sylvie.
Mm-hmm.
And Loki wasn't willing to take that option, and he let the loom break the sacred timeline, ending life as everyone knows it, and yet he takes these strands of time that are dead and uses his power to bring them back to life, and then sits on his own created throne and then creates Idrisil from these timelines. And I think that goes back to Thor 1, where they say it's like the tree of life and it's got the 9 realms.
Mm.
So and then it brings the Norse mythology back. But yeah,
it was lovely, and it was like the final scene of Loki was essentially silent. There was no dialogue. There was
just him staring into the camera, and he was just. You could see he was sad to be alone, but he was relieved that he'd saved his friends and saved the time for everybody. Yeah.
No. It's the He Who Remains said something very interesting. Is like, because Loki always says he's burdened with glorious purpose. Is that everyone wants purpose, but no one wants the burden. And Loki went, I will just have to have the burden of all of time then, like, because essentially Loki in the last episode mastered time travel essentially.
Time slipping.
Yeah,
a weird term.
Yeah,
but I completely forgot that that's essentially a different Loki.
Yeah,
to the Loki that died. Was it Endgame?
Yeah, that was the Loki because Hulk had to take the stairs.
Yes. So essentially, because Hulk hates the stairs, this has all happened.
Yeah.
There's something kind of beautiful in that. I completely forgot that it was that Loki, and that Loki was ready to, murder everybody, and that journey that Loki has been on to sit on that throne at the end is immense.
Yeah. They kind of, with that, have shown the power of television over filmmaking when it comes to telling character stories.
Mm-hmm.
The director was on somewhere the other day. I saw it reposted on Instagram. I don't know where the original quote was from. But said that he saw Loki season 1 and 2 as essentially the beginning and the end of a book. He always saw it as 2 halves, basically. Like, and, I am sad there'll be no more of it. But I don't know whether this came up last episode, Lauren. We talked about the quote from The Good Place, which is like human beings ruining something so they can have a little bit more of it. Like, I'm happy for there to be no more
Mm-hmm.
than there be worse.
No, I know. I agree. I'm happy for it to be like an enclosed thing. It works so well as a 2-part series. It's perfect, but it just hurts my heart.
Yeah, it hurt.
To see his sad face sit on that throne for the rest of time.
Yeah.
Oh, I just hope that he, I just want to see him. I just want him to be happy. Yeah. And it's a silly thing.
I think, and
I'm sure he is happy. He is happy, because he's got his purpose now. He's fulfilled his hero's arc.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's just a part of me that wants him to be happy, and I don't know how happy he can be sitting on a throne on his own for the end of time.
Yeah. I do want to say something about this season of Loki. It is some of the most gorgeous television I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And like, it is what happens when you build sets.
Mm-hmm.
Because a big technique they've used a lot this season has been dolly zooms. Like, so many dolly zooms.
Yeah.
And they only really, really work in physical places. You can't obviously recreate it digitally, but nothing can truly recreate it than physically pushing a camera through a set and changing a lens at the same time.
Yeah.
It is just watching all that space either flatten or expand out is so... It's gorgeous to look at, but then so thematic to this season of Loki, which is about spaces flattening and expanding and like...
Yeah. I think some of like the art direction in the TVA is just amazing. Like that is it Obi's workshop, is it what they called it?
Yeah, yes.
It was just full of so many trinkets and I love the sort of like retro-y but futuristic computers and stuff.
Yeah, I
just think it's so cool.
I like any future that looks like how we thought the future would look in 1950. Yeah. Like, that is always such a good art direction. Yeah. It's like, this is what we thought the future would look like in the past.
Yeah. It's got like Fallout kind of vibes for me.
There's probably a term for that. It's not cyberpunk. Probably nuclear punk or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
Impossible to know. Of all the people that would know that too, Lauren, it would be this dweeb over here.
Yeah, I had to stop playing Fallout. It gave me nightmares.
Yeah, I am. Anyway, so Loki season 2, I would really recommend watching Loki from start to finish, even if you hate Marvel stuff, because it's good. Yeah,
I think it's a good standalone thing. It doesn't really have anything to do with anything other than Marvel. It doesn't tie into it in any way currently. Yet. It's a great standalone thing, and I think especially season 2, I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. Yeah. I haven't felt... I'm just like so desperate for him to get what he needed to do, and it was just a constant like battle for him all the way through. I was on the edge of my seat and I was desperate to watch more, so I hope other people have enjoyed watching it and feel the same way.
Right. So, what is our next topic, Lauren?
Well, you wanted to talk about Spider-Man 2. I'm assuming that's the video game, not the film.
Yeah, it is the video game.
The video game.
Yeah.
You have to tell me all about it because, I can't afford to buy games these days. And I haven't actually finished the first Spider-Man game.
The one on the PlayStation 4?
Yeah. I mean, I think I was very close to the end, and I get a bit of like stage fright with games. When I get towards the end, I kind of like, I'm too scared to finish it. Which sounds really weird. But I think I'm like, oh, the boss will be too scary, I can't do it. And then I just kind of like don't play it, and then I completely forget about it.
Oh yeah, well the last boss in that game is very tragic as well, Lauren.
Oh God.
So again, spoilers alert for Spider-Man Miles Morales, but none for Spider-Man 2. So Spider-Man. So the final boss in Spider-Man is Doc Ock, but in that Spider-Man,
Oh
universe,
yes, yes. I think because I think he turned on me, and then I had to go chasing after him, and then that's as far as I got.
So in the Insomniac Spider-Man universe, Doc Ock is Otto Octavius is Spider-Man's essentially employer.
Mm-hmm.
And so Spider-Man 2 is the third game in the Insomniac Spider-Man franchise. Stupid calling the third one 2, but
yeah, but it doesn't sound like Miles Morales is a 2 either.
because the storyline follows on literally where Miles Morales left off. Like it could be days later. Yeah,
not played that one either.
That is very good. Lacking.
Did I play a demo of it?
It's lacking in something that this one makes up for.
Okay.
Miles Morales has no classic Spider-Man villains in it. Apart from the Rhino, who's like one of the most boring villains. So I have a big theory about why it's called Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
The entire game is about duos and duality.
Right.
Like, it is about Peter and Miles, the two Spider-Men, and they are both just called Spider-Man. There is no distinguish. When they're subtitled, they're both subtitles are Spider-Man. There is no questioning Miles Morales is Spider-Man. I hate that Miles Morales has been a character since like 2015, and people cannot get over the fact that he is Spider-Man, and people call him Spider-Man. Like, get over it, people. He's Spider-Man.
But like, people do call him Miles Morales, not Spider-Man.
Yeah, but that is not a problem. In Insomniac's universe, he's just Spider-Man. And
because even in Elliot's like Spidey and his amazing friends, he's just called Spin or Miles.
Yeah,
he's not called Spider-Man. There's like Gwen.
Yeah,
Spider-Man and then Spin.
Yeah, maybe for children that's fair enough, but it literally, when the two Spider-Men are referring to each other, they just call them Spider-Man.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So it's about the duality between there being two Spider-Men.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the duality between Peter and his old friend Harry, who's back from being very, very ill.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also Spider-Man traditionally it's about duality, isn't it? Like, it's about, having your cake and eating it too. That is what all Spider-Man is about. Like, I think it's a bit an obvious scene, but in Across the Spider-Verse, when Spider-Man India is trying to save the bus and his father at the same time, and out loud says, "I can do both." Like, that is Spider-Man in a nutshell. I can do both, but he can't.
Yeah, I can live my normal life and be Spider-Man at the same time.
Like, and Spider-Man 2 is so much about that. And like, it's all about, the number 2 is like thematic throughout the piece, so I can kind of forgive them from calling the third game 2. It is a really, really good Spider-Man story, like through and through. Like, it is probably probably the second best Spider-Man thing to come out in the past couple of years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's.
Is it only on the PlayStation 5?
It is, sadly. It's trapped on there forever.
God, that's far out of my budget.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. I got one for Christmas a few years ago.
Oh, they'll come down in price eventually.
Yeah, well, yeah. I would recommend if you can just watch someone play through it. Like, you will enjoy it just as much. It is really well written.
Yeah, I mean, the storyline in Spider-Man was actually really fun.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy that part of it, like the cutscenes and everything else, and the story it was telling was really good. Yeah. As well as the game. The game is really fun to play. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very reminiscent of playing, like, Spider-Man on the GameCube.
Yes.
Like, swinging.
Yeah. I love that Spider-Man GameCube game.
Yeah, it was
Hours
very
put
good.
into. I had that, but didn't have a memory card. So just used to have to play it through start to finish every time I played it.
Wow.
Yeah. This new one plays like she steers like a dream. It's like
I would hope so on a PlayStation 5.
it is so like the big thing is the web wings. I know that the web wings are kind of controversial in the Spider-Man community. Do you know what I mean by the web wings?
I'm assuming. Oh, do you mean the glidey bits?
Yeah,
or has it
yeah.
got actual wings these days?
No, the glidey bits. Well,
Oh,
they're called the web wings.
Oh yeah, I'll forgive Spider-Man from having little webby wings. I'm sure there's a flying spider somewhere in the world.
I mean, he's had the web wings since the 60s, so you think people would be over it, but but it's like people get really pissed off about organic web shooting in Spider-Man as well.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, well, I mean,
But,
it's just
it's not weird enough to be angry about.
oh yeah, but people don't think he should be able to glide. It's like he's got the agility of a spider. This is what you're falling over on.
He's a comic book character.
Yeah.
Of course he's gonna fly.
Yeah, it's really, really fun, and I do feel very privileged that I'm in a position where I can play that. I have a PlayStation 5 and I can afford the new game. Both of these things were gifts.
I'm just gonna start being friends with the people that buy you gifts.
Yeah, my mum and my
Josh's
fiance.
mum.
Yeah.
What villains are in it? Is there any good villains in it?
The main villain of the piece is Kraven the Hunter,
Oh, okay.
who is going through New York, killing all of the villains.
Oh.
Okay. It's loosely, the whole comic is based on Kraven's Last Hunt, which is an amazing Spider-Man comic, and I really, really would recommend Kraven's Last Hunt. I picked a hardback copy of that up for £4 off of eBay this year.
Wow.
Yeah. I just want to Lauren, do you have a local comic book shop?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. You would be amazed how, and this goes across to all the audience. I'll say this as someone who's one of the benefits of me moving house soon is going to be moving closer to my local comic book shop, which is currently in another city.
How is not a comic book shop where you live? Is it literally not a comic book shop there? Anywhere?
No.
I don't get it.
Well, there was one, but it went out of business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Business opportunity.
Haven't even got a Forbidden Planet in Derby.
Oh, we don't have a Forbidden Planet either. I think they're very scarce.
Yeah. Your local comic book shop is such a good deal. Normally, I do tend to try and buy comics second hand. Like eBay is just full of people who have so many comics to just sell for such cheap price. Like, 1 second. This won't benefit the audience, but it will benefit Lauren because she can see.
I have eyes.
I was attached to my recorder.
Why were you attached to your recorder?
I don't know, but I'm definitely cutting that. This pile here, these are all from a local comic book shop. There's about some new ones, like the new Ms. Marvel. Some oldie ones. That there is 15 quid.
Oh, that's not too bad. You got 8 comics there, something like that.
Yeah. The new Spider Boy, which has got a lovely advert for the Marvels on top of it. And this bastard.
That's not bigger than the Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah. This was £10 off of eBay.
Wow.
The shipping cost more.
Where'd you buy it from?
Just some guy on eBay.
What, in the UK?
Yeah, but it's heavy. So this actually brings us on to my last topic. Moving on from Spider-Man 2, Lauren, to local comic book shops. Bone. This is Bone.
Okay.
I recently finished reading Jeff Smith's seminal work, Bone, which is a casual 1,300-page comic graphic novel.
Wow.
That it took 12 years to write. This came out in single issues as well.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so if someone's got
chucked it all back together.
Yeah, then it won an Eisner Prize, whatever that is. So on the front, I just want to read some quotes from the front cover.
Okay.
I love Bone. Bone is great. That's quoted to Matt Groening. Named one of the best graphic novels of all time by Time Magazine.
Ooh.
On the back here we have Neil Gaiman. People like Neil Gaiman, don't they? He's like the go-to. Put your name on my book. Jeff Smith can pace a joke better than almost anyone in comics. His dialogue is delightful. So are his people. Not to mention his animals, his villains, and even his bugs.
Wow. That's a glowing review.
Yeah. Bone was meant to become an animated series on a Netflix, but they cancelled it so they could make the Squid Game real-life TV show.
What, the one that they already made?
No, you know how they've made Squid Game, but they've actually done it for real now?
No.
Yeah, that's coming out soon. They cancelled Bone so they could make that.
So they made a TV show so not the series. Oops.
Yeah, so they made the series Squid Game, but they're actually now making a game show that is Squid Game.
How? Like, you can't kill people.
I don't know. If Mr. Beast can do it, Netflix can do it. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was one of the projects that was announced after they cancelled Bone. So.
Oh.
Yeah,
hopefully they'll pick it back up again.
I don't know. I do. So this whole talk about local comic book shops and Bone. Jeff Smith, who wrote Bone, has a new graphic novel coming out, called Thorn, Thorm, who is one of the characters in Bone.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole story started out as like a weekly comic he used to draw in, like, I think in a magazine maybe. And Thorn is a collection of those, like digitally remastered and like with some original drawings and stuff.
Okay.
And I would highly recommend pre-ordering that through your local comic book shop.
If you have one.
If you have one. It's currently actually going through Kickstarter, but I think as this podcast comes out, that Kickstarter will have ended.
Okay.
But I've pre-ordered my copy already through my local comic book shop.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, and I think, again, whilst we talk a lot about big studio stuff here, it is still important to me to promote independent works.
Oh, that's cool. What do you like about it?
It's probably the best comic I've ever read in my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
even after 1,000 pages?
Yeah, even I will. Okay, have to have a caveat here. Bone required a running start for me. I read the first 100 pages and went, never fucking finishing that.
Yeah.
And then I read some bigger graphic novels, not bigger than Bone, but bigger than what I was reading. And I realised the problem was that my reading stamina was really low.
Yeah.
Like, TikTok killed my attention span. You know, but like when I returned to it, I was reading about 50 pages a night and just like blasted through it, literally.
That's cool.
Like literally couldn't put it down. Like falling, you know, when you're in bed reading something and trying not to fall asleep.
Oh, I'm so rubbish. I haven't read anything for a really, really long time.
That's very fair. It's Lauren has a working mother. It's understandable.
Yeah, I've only got a finite amount of time.
Yeah, you can use that excuse for anything, Lauren. As a working mother.
It's a working full-time mother,
Yeah.
2 children,
Yeah.
and a podcast.
Yeah, and a third child that you have to make a podcast with.
No, I haven't found anything that I want to read.
Yeah, I really do get that, and I understand. I don't know whether you feel this way. I might just feel this way as someone that experienced, who's here. I think people look down on reading comics as not reading.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the last things I probably read was like an Iron Man graphic novel, really. But like, I think there's just the only other thing that I technically have read is Dave Grohl's Storyteller. But because he did it an audiobook, I was like, I am listening to Dave Grohl talk to me all flipping day long. No way I'm reading that.
Oh, that's amazing. Like, it is... I do... I as someone who does read, and knowing who I am, I don't think reading is a sign of intelligence. because I read and I'm thick as pig shit.
But I used to be a really avid reader.
Same.
And like, I'd have a massive bookcase of books, and I would read all the time. And like, probably even about like 6 or 7 years ago, I would have had books to read. But I don't know. Like you said, I don't think I have the brain capacity or the brain energy to sit there and read like a static thing of words, because you're so used to watching TikTok and crap like that.
Here's a weird question. It's actually changed it for me. Are your books visible?
No.
See, this is the books I want to read are all on my bedside table, so I see them, and that actually makes me feel like, oh, I should read that. It's there.
Yeah.
And see how it's like it's next to where I charge my phone, so it's like I put the phone down and I pick up the book.
Yeah. Well, we did have books out and stuff, and we had like those Kallax like square units in the living room.
Oh, nice.
And it had like books and magazines and stuff on. But then Elliot started like climbing things, pulling things off, and we were just like, these are going in the loft. Just get them out of the way, because it's just hassle.
I sure that same trouble with me. It's do you think here's I'm going to say something this is the meanest thing I've said in my life, Lauren. Do you think our relationship with Marvel films are so as they are because we have actual lives? Like, we have loved ones, so it's like I don't have to get upset about Marvel films because I've got stuff going on.
I don't know.
Like
I don't understand. I can understand to an extent being, upset and blah. But to have that much feeling about something, to be so intensely angry because someone made a film slightly different to the way that you wanted it to be, and to scream and shout about it on the internet, I don't understand.
Yeah, it becomes some people's personalities.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are those people like when they go to work?
God.
Well, at work, I am known for liking Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
And I'd like to be honest, I'm known for liking Marvel, and I'm known for kind of liking Pokemon as well, to be honest. But the new, the series of Pokemon ended, and they've got this new girl or whatever.
Killer.
And then get rid. Never gonna watch Pokemon again.
Childhood equals ruined.
And it's a massive shift and a massive change. And I will, once it's available here, I will try and watch it. But if it's not the same as it's not going to be the same as what it was for 6 years with Ash and Pikachu. It's not going to be the same. It's a whole different thing. And then people are screaming and crying and shouting that they shouldn't have made it. Like, where's Ash? Where is he?
It's like, he's in all the stories you already love. That's where he is. Like,
it's just insane to me that I get people feel things intensely, but to let it ruin your life that much, I just don't understand. I think we're probably in a lucky position that we can just enjoy them kind of objectively.
yes.
And just be like, oh, this is great, or this is not so great because of these things. That's it. And it's not having an impact in our lives in any shape or form.
Like, I've got like a fiance to look after and like do things with. I can't be griping about Spider-Man comics all night on Twitter.
But what if these people do have fiancés and they're still griping on Twitter?
Well, God save everyone involved in that interaction. You know, it's just like me and Lauren were talking about this earlier. I am a really big Deadpool comics fan and don't like any of the Deadpool movies. I'm not excited for Deadpool 3. Like, but I don't care. Like,
no, it doesn't impact on your life in any way if it's
no, it doesn't, because
great
the Deadpool
or bad.
No, because the Deadpool stories that I like exist. And I realise we've spoken for 2 hours, Lauren, and not 45 minutes.
I've got an hour and 30 on mine.
Okay.
We can wrap it up now.
Yes. So, this has been a very interesting and very casual episode of Less Marvelless. They can't
Nothing
all,
if not casual.
yes, they can't all be game shows. Coming up next on Marvelless, we have Thor versus Battlefield Earth. Scientology strikes back in a major way.
It seems like so long ago that we watched that.
Yeah, it was about a month and a half ago.
God.
That's a very, again, one of the hosts of the podcast. That's a very good episode. I think you will all enjoy it. And then after that, we will have the Less Marvelless Christmas episode.
Yeah.
Which is full of fun games and treats. That probably will have a quiz in it if you want a quiz. There'll be a quiz. I would like to apologise for any technical difficulties during this episode. That's all on me, gang.
Fireworks.
Any fireworks.
Any babies crying.
Yeah. I'd like to thank you all for listening, truly and deeply.
Me too.
I'd like to thank Luke for our theme music and stingers.
Thanks, Luke.
Friend of the show. You can find us on everything but Twitter at the Marvellous Podcast. You can email us at themarvellouspodcast@gmail.com.
Yep. Send us your hate mail, your recommendations, anything you like.
You know what? I would love to see people sending us photos of things they've recently bought from their local comic book shops. I'd love to see that.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, or charity shops on eBay. The comic book world is ripe for people who love secondhand.
Yeah.
I would
To be fair, I'm always getting secondhand toys from Vinted or FaceBay.
I'm not even considered that Vinted or Facebook would be a good place to look as well.
Yeah. I get Pokemon cards from Vinted, but I imagine people will be selling comic books and stuff on there, so it might be worth a look.
Yeah, I would really recommend, guys, in this time of the time we're in, if you're buying comic books or graphic novels, either buy them locally or buy them secondhand. Do not buy from Amazon or whatever. Your local comic book shop, the 10 quid you spend there means more to them than it means to Amazon. It truly does.
Yeah.
There is... If they stopped making comic books tomorrow, there is enough they've written now. You've had enough to read to the end of your life. There is so much good stuff out there, guys, and it's like waiting to be found and discovered. I bought Bone because I saw a 1,000-page graphic novel for a tenner, and I thought, fuck it, I'll give that a go. Well, my life has changed. Right, Lauren, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I think this is probably the bit where the podcast ends.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
I think that's Hey Bulldog by the Beatles. Oh, we didn't even talk about the Beatles' new song. Oh, God. Stop the recording. No.
Just pause for a moment.
A ghost has just entered Lauren's room.
Hang on, we're transporting the baby.
Baby transporter coming soon with Jason Statham.
Just got a baby in the back of the car.
I've got to be dead quiet because there's a baby in the back.
The baby starts crying and then he starts doing donuts to get the baby to sleep.